Hey, it's Bunny. And I just wanted to come on here and like rant, basically, right? Um, so we are officially in a big back epidemic, right? I was running a few errands, right? And I just noticed there's a lot of wide backs, a lot of auntie hips, and not in a good way, like spilling over. Oh my God. Like I live in like a walkable city, right? So for me, right, I, mostly, and I'm like scared of cars and things like that because I have a fear of running somebody over or somebody or getting into like a car crash or something like that. So for me, I just, yeah. So I'm thankful on one hand. I'm like thankful that I live in a walkable city. And at the same time, I'm absolutely sick of it because using public transport is the worst. And I don't know what it is, but people love to sit next to me sometimes. And yeah. So this woman, right? Very big, spill like her hips were spilling over onto me, right? And she had a little bit of awareness about it, right? Because she kind of like shifted herself, but gradually, right? She shifted herself over to my side. I was like, please. I like this whole week I've been like that's why I haven't uploaded much because I feel like such rage and like my hormones and everything. Like I don't know why specifically, but like I just don't feel like not happier, but like I don't feel social and things like that. I just feel so annoyed and the heat is annoying me. And like I just feel so like annoyed. Yeah. But y'all, I noticed it. I said, why are there so many wide backs? Bellowing bellies. Like what's going on? And I was like, oh my God. I was clutching my invisible pearls and I was just seeing wide back, like, oh my God, the part of the bus where you can, like, how do I describe it? I'm like the worst at describing this, but yeah. So there was this woman, right? Again, overweight. And y'all, I mind business that is not mine. I'm sorry, I do that. Um, but I saw, the cankles, the rolls, the back that was wide covered the whole thing, the whole like section where you like get out of the bus, right? And literally, like, huh? I was just sitting there and I was like, oh my God, why are there so many wide backs? What's going on? What are y'all eating? Are you know? Like I complain about my body sometimes, right? But when y'all look like I looked at myself and I looked at them and I was literally like, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like I'm literally just like so in my head about things sometimes that I literally just overanalyze things and things like that, right? But yeah, my hay fever is horrible. I'm so sorry for the sniffling, right? I having like a few talks with like my boyfriend, right? And we were just talking about how people's relationship outcomes are different and how, so many people are single but are like complaining about, oh, I can't find a man, I can't find a woman, and all of this like gender war stuff, right? And we literally said to each other, right? These people deserve to be single. Like he was more like chill and like he's the like chill one, right? But me, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that, what, you deserve to be single. That's why you're single. because you're annoying, because they are quite literally insufferable, and I just can't do it. I don't have this like empathy for people who are complaining about like relationship outcomes, and like when they're the problem, specifically when you know they're the problem and they're the ones who are like really just so weird. Like the pop the balloon thing, right? The things that people are saying on that show, people are actually saying this in real life as well. Like the things people say, oh, you shouldn't take social media and like shows like pop the balloon, right? And it's like real life, but people are saying the same lines, doing the same things in real life. So you it's not funny, right? Somebody's asked me to do a 360 in real life several like, huh? Not several times, right? My boyfriend says it as a joke. He knows it pisses me off, right? But like, yeah, like it's so serious. They are so serious about this. This is not like a joke where people are it's just like, oh, because this is a show. No, they really think like this. And it's so weird. And that's why I just don't care. Like the complaining, the crying, you know what I see it as? Natural selection. I really do. I think it's survival of the fittest. I think you are, naturally because of your brain cells being, dying off, right? Or maybe you never had them. I don't know. But, like, okay, you can't find a partner. Great. You can't procreate. Great. Why? Not because of like a medical condition, but because you can't find someone who will tolerate you enough to partner with you and then procreate with you. Um, a lot of these people, it's really their own fault. I've heard the list, the requirements, and stuff like that, right? And you deserve it, babe. It's all you. Good for you. I don't I just have no empathy when it comes to people who are quite literally creating their own hell, right? Because I call it hell for them because the way they go on about like, oh, Steph Co and I'm not pretty and no man wants me, and they look at her. I don't even have to say it. Like these people who complain about this, they are never really a catch. They're like, even if they are like pretty, right? Their mindset, there's something off. They're like so like needy or like controlling, or there's something weird about them, right? And that's why I'm not like, upset about not being on the dating market, right? For me, in my head, like literally, um I'm basically married. Like I'm married. um like that's what I think in my head, right? And like me and my boyfriend like refer to each other as husband and wife and things like that. And it's actually coming up to our 1 year anniversary this weekend, and I'm so happy. I've just been reflecting on everything, and why relationship outcomes are different. I've been doing this for a while now, but like I've started really thinking about it, right? And I believe like my relationship outcomes and Exotical's relationship outcomes are so much better because we actually have self-esteem and boundaries. And when I feel like it's going by black stan logic, but by black woman empowerment logic, right? We have a pedestal. So we're always being praised and things like that. So naturally, we would have more self-esteem. And when you have self-esteem, and when you naturally are able to like point out the bullshit, right? You're not going to be like in relationships where a man won't do anything for you and things like that. Like it just wouldn't work because you have that self-esteem. You're not gonna settle for crumbs, right? And so I feel like that's one of the things, right? Um, Also, I think it's a mentality. I feel like a lot of exoticals have like hardworking, winner mindsets, right? Growth mindsets. I've all like people whenever I'm doing like job searches and stuff like that, or like just in school before, like they always mention like growth mindsets and fixed mindsets. And I was just like, why are they constantly referring to this and constantly bringing it up? But it's so true. When you have I feel like a lot of unambiguous Black women or Black people in unambiguous Black people in general have a very fixed mindset, have a very honestly extremist mindset to me. And it's like they work in like absolutes where white people are racist, mulattoes are racist, da da da, everybody hates us and things like that. And just very black and white in the thinking, right? And to an extent, I guess I understand how people's life experiences and things like that would shape how they feel and their thinking. But a lot of these people that I hear talk again, a lot of these people that I hear talking about, oh, white people are racist. Meanwhile, you're married to a white. Remember the Eve video of that woman talking about, oh, basically trying to say that all white people are racist, right? But she's married to a white man. She won't leave the white family that she married into. And it's like trying to do this. I hate pro black people. I really do. They are so disingenuous. They are so annoying. Dr. Umar, I wasn't surprised. Um, Nick Cannon, who else? All these people. There's always something off about them and just annoying, and they always marry somebody or procreate with somebody who is not black, and then keep going with the oh, we're so pro black and we're down for the cause. Meanwhile, your wife is mulatto, your wife is white. Like that's why I can't listen to men like that, and even the women as well. Like nobody talks about the women who are literally marrying white men in droves, the dustiest white men ever, picking them off the streets, taking homeless white men off the streets and rehabilitating them in the mammy centers. you know I just and then coming online to brag and say, oh, we're preferred, we're we're preferred by the white man, by the white man. Okay, Blueprint. Go Blueprint. Go Blueprint. Go. Go Blueprint. Go Blueprint. Go. Yeah. But like I don't know. I just feel very annoyed at everyone and like everything. And yeah, back to what I was saying. I totally got off topic. Sorry. Like I'm all over the place with my thoughts, right? But yeah, I feel like a lot of unambiguous black people have a very fixed mindset, and they're not able to kind of come together with another person, right? I feel like a lot of, I don't know, unambiguous black people kind of have like an independent mindset. I notice that a lot. They're not necessarily about community as much. Whereas, for example, Spanish people or Asian people, right? They always talk about like how together they are, and oh, we should be like the Asians, we should be like the Mexicans and stuff like that, right? Because they're together, they support each other, right? There's a community there. Whereas I've noticed with unambiguous black people, there is no real community. It's almost like this crabs in a barrel mentality, and like you just can't, they're not rooting for you, right? They're only rooting for you if you make them look good. And I think that's so narcissistic, and it reminds me of my narcissistic mother, right? Who was unambiguous, right? And again, oh my god, just because she's unambiguous and narcissistic doesn't mean all narcissistic unambiguous people are narcissistic or whatever, right? But of course, nuance, but that's my experience and who I've seen be narcissistic and things like that. I can sit here and talk about all different types of people, but I live in the black community. I'm around the black community. So I'm going to talk about the black community. Thank you. Yeah. And so I've noticed a lot these narcissistic traits, right? And it's almost like it's praised. It feels like it's it's so normalized, and there's like no talking about it and things like that. Only in a few years, these few years, that I've heard a lot of people talking about narcissists. But the way that I see Black people talk about narcissists is they're always pointing the finger at somebody else, right? And I think at some point, it's not everybody else who's a narcissist, to be honest. Like, some of you are definitely just throwing it out there, and that's so annoying to me, because when you've been through actual narcissistic abuse and been in the face of a narcissist, right? It's completely different. It's not just being toxic, right? It's abuse, right? It's repetitive abuse, you know? And yeah, I just feel like it's being really downplayed, but I feel like there's not is it can't be everybody else all the time. That's what I mean. Like, it just can't. Somebody has to be the narcissist, and it can't be, oh, it's Molly May over there, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I this like whole conversation about alt-right pipeline and conservatism and the rise of it and things like that, right? Um, it's just spinning around my head, and like I always see things where people are literally just mentioning it in anything, just in the randomest stuff. I swear to God, if you said you liked white rice, somebody would say, "Oh, it's because of white supremacy and the alt-right pipeline." And I swear to God, right? And it's becoming so extreme. That's what I'm saying. Like, the rise of extremism, and I've been thinking for a while, we are seeing a huge, huge, huge rise for the past like 5, 10 years, a huge rise in extremism. And I think we are going to see a lot of cults. And I said this a few years ago, and I'm starting to see it come to fruition, right? I'm seeing so many cults, right? And it's like, yeah, makes sense. Because y'all are so easily swayed. Y'all are so easily, you know, you know, convinced of things, right? So easily fear mongered. And it's so weird. And I don't want to downplay the people who are actually informing people, right? Of situations that are happening and things like that. I feel like everybody has a right to free speech and things like that. But at the same time, I feel like we are literally attaching things to things that are just have no correlation, if little to none, if any, you know? And yeah, it's just really, it's scary, because what else are you going to do? Like, this is, yeah. But I just feel like the people that I see complaining about the rise of conservatism and are so shocked and are just, all of this stuff. Maybe it's just me, but majority of people are conservative. Majority of cultures are conservative. Like, this is not surprising. I think when you live in such a bubble of, and you're so used to policing people and saying, oh, you have to be politically correct and things like that, you think that you live in this world, right? That everybody is liberal, everybody's this free spirit and things like that, when that's actually not the truth, right? It reminds me of when I was like during the pandemic, right? And I was watching so many like queer TikToks and stuff like that, and seeing, connecting and seeing so much queer people on my timeline and things like that. And then when I went outside, I was like, oh my God, why are people so straight? Why are people so conservative, right? And it's because when you're put in a bubble, when that's the only thing, when you're only seeing one thing, you think the whole world is like that at some point, right? But when you expose yourself to different points of views and things like that, you realize that that's not the whole world, you know? But I feel like they just read as so like slow to me, and so ill-informed about things, and these are the same people who are going to call you ill-informed and all types of is and supremacists and all of that. And it's like, if you really were informed, you would know that this is not a surprise. It's not a surprise that so many people are conservative and so many people are like, I don't know, beige mom or something, right? And I've been annoyed for a while, right? Like slightly annoyed about the beige mom aesthetic, and like not specifically mother, well, the really toxic ones, the one that like painted her child's toys beige because it didn't match her aesthetic. I said, yeah, this has to be like a form of child abuse. Like there's no way, right? But like the people who just like really like the clean girl aesthetic and beige and everything in neutrals, I just find them like, eh, I don't really care much about them, you know. I think I kind of slightly fit into their aesthetic, but at the same time, for me, it just feels like, oh, okay, that's the thing that you're doing. That's the trend that they're doing. All right, nothing to do with me, right? But making it seem like, oh, they're going to lock us up in camps and I'm not going to stop. Like, I've had to unfollow so many people on TikTok because they who are like alternative and stuff like that and have like a decora type of aesthetic, right? Or like maximalist, things like that, right? And are saying, oh, I'm never going to stop being who I am because we are so close to them putting us in camps and things like that. Huh? Where did you even get that? Where, like, where is the proof? I need people to start providing proof, to start providing things, right? And it just feels like really annoying and just really weird. Like, I I also like followed this girl, right, who was talking about how like history repeats itself, and there's like I forgot what she's called, but like she is like studies like historical like politics or something like that, like the how, you know, like things like how in like war times they had to use nylon for like was it parachutes, I think. And so they made their own like nylon like leggings by like doing a line at the back of their legs, right? And using like and fake tan with like a, I don't know, like chicken grease or something like that, right? I don't know, I forgot what it's called, it's been such a long time. But yeah, she talks about stuff and how like the clean girl aesthetic is like the the emergence of it, right, is kind of because we're going to go into a recession, and that's why there's such a push for like minimalism and things like that. And I can see that viewpoint, I can kind of see it because like there's proof there and things like that. And yeah, but again, some of the things that people are saying are really really far-fetched. Anyways, I think that's it for this video. It's so all over the place, and I'm so sorry for that, but my usual content will be coming back. I'm literally just like so busy. But yeah, please like, please subscribe. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.